Well, good afternoon, Crescent Valley students. This is a information video for our St. Louis project. We typically will do two meetings that are face-to-face leading up to the mission trip. However, I felt like it would be easier if we did a information video that you can go back and look at anytime. And if you weren't able to make a face-to-face meeting, then you're able just to access that video and then do one training meeting face-to-face. And so this video will serve as like an information meeting. And then on June 23rd, right after service in the Student Center, we're going to have a training meeting. So that is June 23rd, right after service in the Student Center. We'll have a training meeting. June 23rd is a big day for the St. Louis trip. So your $50 deposit is due on June 23rd. We're having our training meeting on June 23rd, and then all of your forms are due on June 23rd. And that's also the last day to sign up. So last day to sign up, training meeting, deposit, and forms are due on June 23rd. And then your rest of your money is due on July 7th. So you'll pay $50 by June 23rd, and then you will pay the remaining balance. So it's a $350 trip. So if you just pay $50 by June 23rd, then July 7th you'll owe $300. And July 7th is also a big day. That is the Sunday before we leave for St. Louis. We leave on a Friday. And so the Sunday before, we will commission our whole team. We'll gather them at the front. We will pray for them. And then we will also be commissioning Bree Hess, which is one of our former students, but she will also be going to be Bob's intern this summer from July 7th to August 7th. So we will also commission her. We're real proud of her. She's going to spend a month with Bob starting the week before the project, then the week of the project, and then she'll go to El Salvador, and then she'll have a week to debrief. And so that's what July 7th looks like. And then July 12th, which is the day we're leaving, we will meet at 8 a.m. If you've gone before, you'll be saying hallelujah, because we used to meet at 5 a.m., but this year we're meeting at 8 a.m. So we'll pray, we will meet, I'll give some last-minute instruction, and then we will pack up our stuff and we'll head out. We're going to have lunch in Springfield, Missouri. We'll stop somewhere around there and eat, and we will take bathroom breaks and stop to get gas as necessary, and then we will head from Springfield to First Baptist Church of Maryville, Illinois. That's where we're going to be staying. That's where we'll be showering. That's where we'll be worshiping. It's our kind of our ministry hub for the week. First Baptist Church, Maryville, Illinois. So we'll meet there around 4 p.m. We will register and give us a walk. They'll give us a walkthrough of the facility, and then we will stop and leave and go somewhere in Maryville to eat dinner. Just a side note on meals. Meals on travel days are on you. So that will be 2 meals on Friday the 12th and probably 1 meal on the way back. And then if I were you, I'd probably bring some snacks. They do 3 meals a day plus a snack, but for some reason, it always feels like from lunch to dinner is a really long time. And so you may need an afternoon snack. And so that's Friday. Saturday, after we eat dinner, Friday after we eat dinner, we'll come back and worship. Saturday is a long, grueling day. There will be several worship services and then several breakouts. So that's a long, grueling day. It's necessary. It's needed. It's really good spiritual prep. But I just want you to be prepared. That's going to probably feel like the longest day because you're going to have looks like 1, 2, 3 worship services. You'll have a concert of prayer and 2 breakouts on Saturday, and then Sunday you will shower, eat breakfast, and we will worship at First Baptist Church of Maryville. And whenever we worship there, you'll need to wear either jeans or khakis and then the shirt that is provided for you whenever you get there. So anyway, we'll worship at First Baptist Church of Maryville. We'll probably worship at the 10:50 service. They have a 9:30 and a 10:50 service. We'll probably worship at the late service. We will grab our lunch and then we will get to lay eyes on our ministry site for the very first time. This year we're serving at 15th Street Baptist Church in East St. Louis. East St. Louis is an interesting city. It's kind of a microcosm of St. Louis. It was big back in like the 40s and 50s during the Industrial Revolution. And since the factories shut down, the world went technological. A lot of people lost their jobs and moved out of East St. Louis. So I want to say it's a town of about 50,000, which is slightly larger than Muskogee. And 60% of all income in East St. Louis is government assistance. So if you and I were to go door knocking in Fort Gibson during the day, most people would not be there because they're at their job. Whenever you do it in East St. Louis, everyone's home because they live almost, the majority of people will live on government assistance. So that Sunday, we'll go get to lay eyes on our ministry site. We'll pass out flyers. We'll prayer walk. We will establish our van routes. We'll establish our stations, ministry stations, and I'll talk more about that in a minute. And then 5 p.m., we'll leave to go back to FBC Maryville, eat dinner, and then we'll have a worship service on Sunday night, and then we will have our snack. And then we will meet with our church group, which we call family time. Then Monday morning, we'll have breakfast bright and early, leave for our ministry site, and then we will run our van routes, and then that's the kickoff day. Monday morning is the kickoff day. And so the stations are, we will gather everybody after we run our van routes. We will... first thing we'll do is after we gather everybody in the worship center, we will do the song that will be kind of weaved throughout the week. Do a song at the beginning, and then our stations are, we'll have a recreation station. They'll be playing games. There'll be a Bible lesson station where somebody tells a Bible story. There will be a craft station where they will build a craft, make a craft that goes along with the Bible story. And then we will also have a cool down station where you can get a bottle of water, get a pop, get a granola bar, take a deep breath. At some point in the week, you'll be overwhelmed. You'll be tired. You may be upset at a kid. And so this may be a time where you get to do that and take 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and just calm down, take a deep breath, pray, and then get back after it. And so anyway, that's what VBS looks like on Monday. And then Tuesday, we will do VBS. And then Tuesday evening is our free day. Afternoon and evening is free. We will be going to a St. Louis Cardinals baseball game. Most of the time, they are out for All-Star break, but they're actually back in town. So we're going to be going to St. Louis Cardinals game, and then we'll head home and hang out. Wednesday, we'll be back to normal. We'll do Vacation Bible School, and then head back for dinner and worship. And then Thursday, we will do VBS in the morning, and then we will eat, have a shower, and then head back to Parents' Night. So this will be the culmination of all the work we've put in, the culmination of all the door knocking, the culmination of all the prayer walking. This is where we invite the parents back. I will preach the gospel that night, and hopefully we'll see several students and parents saved that night. And then we'll have kind of a celebration service, and then Friday we'll get up, have one more worship service, and then we will head home. And so anyway, that's kind of what the day-by-day schedule looks like. Again, on the way home, we will stop and eat lunch, and then maybe stop for something. I'm thinking we'll be home around dinner time, so we may not have that second meal on the 19th. You may get to eat that at home. So we're serving it, like I said, at the 15th Street Baptist Church in East St. Louis. Our stations are Bible. We'll do music at the beginning and end, rec, craft, and cool down station. A couple things I want to talk with you through. Number one, look for God to stretch you on that week. I'm just telling you, He will. One of our main phrases that we will say throughout the week is be flexible. Our plans will change. Our plans will not go as planned. Our plans will they're just not going to go perfectly. And so we need to be flexible and adjust and just look for God to stretch you. You may be put in a situation that you've never been in your life, and that's a time to be dependent on the Lord, be flexible, and to serve the Lord with joy. Number 2, expect God to show up. I believe that if we go into the trip with great expectations, that God will show up. If we pray for big things, God will do big things. And so I am full of faith, believing that God is going to do big things in you and through you that week. And so expect God to show up. Expect God to save a lot of students, for us to reach a lot of students. And then also, I want us to focus on asking God that we could live under an open heaven of blessing. Malachi 3, God gives a triple dog dare. If you try me in the tithe, if you try me in giving, it says that He'll open up the windows of heaven. So he's talking about in a financial sense, but even in a spiritual sense, if we give ourselves fully to God, if we give ourselves fully to His work, to His mission, I believe that we will live and walk under an open heaven of blessing. And so and I'm not talking about that if we serve God faithfully, that He'll give us a Porsche, that we'll never get sick, that times will never get hard. That's not what I'm talking about. But I believe that God will pour out His blessings on us, that we will see fruit from our labor, that our labor is not in vain, that if we do not give up, if we don't lose heart, that we will reap a harvest. And that's what I'm looking forward to. And so a couple more things that I want to share with you before we head out. I say before we head out, before I finish the video. Sorry about that. Let's see here. How much money should you bring? So I would say, like I said, you're responsible for 3 meals. 2 meals on the way there, 1 meal on the way back. I would bring some money for if you want to get something to drink on one day, or we may stop and get a snow cone or something. If you want to buy something at the field, at the baseball game, if you've never been to a Major League Baseball game, it's very, very expensive. You're not going to be able to get a bottle of water for $1. It's very expensive, and I think we're going to set up the schedule to where you don't have to buy anything at the game if you don't want to. But if you want to, then I would say you need to plan for that. And so you would totally be okay if you brought $50. But if you want to bring somewhere between $50 and $100, I think that'll get you, especially if you were wanting to get something at the game, something from the gift shop, or if you're wanting to get some food and drink at the game, you'll definitely need more money because that's really expensive. You're going to want to bring snacks. Like I said, you'll be fine. You'll get 3 meals and a snack a day, but it just seems like a really long time between lunch and dinner. And so you might want to bring some snacks. And also, I want you to know and prepare yourself for the chaos of this week that's coming up. The kids will not act like our kids at Crescent Valley VBS. They don't respect authority. They're not organized. They don't have a structured home life. So I'm just telling you, as much as we plan, and we're going to work hard at planning, but as much as we plan, it's going to be chaotic. The kids are going to be crazy. They're not going to listen as well as you want them to. They're not going to look like saints. It's going to be chaotic, and so I want to prepare you for that. Maybe something else, even in the schedule outside of Vacation Bible School, it may be chaotic. We have to be flexible and adjust quickly and just kind of see what God's doing and jump in. And that's my best encouragement: is be flexible, see where God's moving, and jump in, do the very best you can, and God will honor it. A couple other detail things. You'll need to bring, and I'll go through your list of what you need to bring. But in my experience, if you can afford it, now I'm not saying that you have to, but if you can afford it, I recommend getting an air mattress for the week. Some people bring sleeping bags, totally okay. Some people bring cots, totally okay. But if you can afford it, I would do an air mattress. I bought one in 2016, and I spent $99 on it, which may seem crazy to you, but I use it for multiple weeks every year, and it works like a charm. I sleep like a baby. It's a really nice air mattress, and it doesn't lose air. It takes about 90 seconds to air up and about 60 seconds to deflate. It's just really, really awesome. So if you can, I would spring for the air mattress. If not, like I said, no pressure. Don't worry about that. But air mattress is definitely going to work better for you than a cot. Another thing is spiritual prep. We take spiritual prep very, very seriously, because if you go into the week empty, it's going to only get worse throughout the week. So you need to consciously ask God to fill you, and work on God filling you through the spiritual disciplines, through the reading of His Word, through prayer, through time spent in silence and solitude, through corporate worship, singing, different things like that. You need God to fill you this week, more so than on a normal week, because you will be pouring yourself out. You will be emptying yourself. And so it's going to be very important that you prepare your heart each day. Prepare your heart going into the trip, but you need to prepare your heart each day. So our 4 pillars that will make a great week. Number 1 is gospel focus. We have to be about the gospel. We are on mission. Our mission is for God through us to seek and to save the lost. That's why we're there. We want to see people's lives transformed for the glory of God. So we have to have a gospel focus. Number 2, we need to be intentional about spiritual prep. Number 3, we need to be intentional about relationships, building relationships with FBC Maryville, with the people at One Team International, with each other, and with the kids that we'll be ministering to. It's all about relationships. And then last one is everything we do, I want us to do with excellence. Do the very best you can. Don't slack off. Don't take the easy road. Do the very best you can, and we will have a wonderful, wonderful week. So let me walk through some rules for you and kind of a packing list, and I'll actually do the rules during our training meeting. And so let's just talk about the packing list. So a few things not to wear. Tank tops. All shirts must have at least short sleeves. And so here's the thing. If you're in your room and we're getting ready to go to bed, you don't have to wear, I don't care if you wear a tank top. I don't care if you wear like a cutoff shirt. But while we're worshiping, while we're doing ministry, while we're on the field, really need to wear at least a short sleeve. All shirts must cover the back and midriff. No tight, form-fitting clothes by themselves. So if no yoga pants or leggings or similar type clothes. You have to have something to cover your bottom. Okay, you need a long t-shirt. I would prefer that you not wear yoga pants at all, but if you must, you need to have something that'll cover your bottom. Shorts need to be a modest length, and modest length is, if you were to reach your hands down at your sides, at least fingertip length. Do not wear pants or shorts with writing on the back. So no sweatpants or shorts with the words juicy on the bottom. Go ahead and keep those at home. We don't need those. Please wear appropriate sleepwear in case of emergency. I hope this doesn't happen. It probably won't happen, but I would hate for us to have an emergency and you have to run outside in the middle of the night and you not be wearing anything, or in your underwear. So the guys and girls will be sleeping in different places. You don't have to worry about that. But in case of emergency, we need to have some modest clothes modest pajamas that are available for you to wear in case something happens in the middle of the night. Kind of a packing list for you. You need decent shorts, like I said, fingertip length, t-shirts, tennis shoes. You can wear chacos if you want, but if you're going to be doing rec or something, you might want to wear some closed-toe shoes, but tennis shoes and socks or sandals. Sunday morning, like I said, you'll be worshiping at church, so you'll need jeans or khakis, and then your camp t-shirt, which will be provided for you. Ladies, you can wear like a skirt or capris or something like that if you want. Some other items you may need: shorts, jeans, t-shirts. You may need a light jacket or a sweatshirt. Sometimes it gets cold in the church that we'll be staying at. You'll need a Bible and like a pen and paper. Like I said, you'll need bed stuff, air mattress, cot, sleeping bag. You'll need sheets. You'll need bath towels. You'll need some kind of snacks, toiletries, deodorant, soap, toothbrush, things like that. If you are pasty white, you may need sunscreen. And bring medications that you have that you may need. I'll just make a statement about this. A week away from home on the mission field, whenever you're exerting yourself, is not a good week to say, you know what, I've been taking my meds, but I think I'm going to experiment and not do that. If you're taking medication, please bring it with you and please take it while you're there. And then let's see here. Some things not to bring. Don't bring any video games and TVs. We're not going to have time for that. Obviously, you can bring your phone, but don't bring like a Xbox or a PlayStation or anything like that. If it's valuable, if you consider it to be valuable, I would not bring it. Expensive clothes, expensive jewelry, I wouldn't bring it. Don't bring a Bluetooth speaker if you think that you would miss it if it was stolen. Don't bring it. If there's anything that you would really miss if it were gone, I would not bring it. I would leave it at home. Alcohol, drugs, or tobacco, don't bring those. That includes vaping, jewels, dip, chewing tobacco, anything like that. Don't bring those this week. This is not the venue for that. We don't have time to deal with that, and honestly, that stuff will get you sent home. And here's what I mean by sent home. I will not be driving you home from St. Louis. Your parent will drive to St. Louis, pick you up, and take you home. And so don't risk that, because I just know if my dad had to drive to St. Louis, pick me up, and take me home because I was in trouble, that would not be good. That would be awful. And so do a favor to your parents and don't make them do that. So don't bring that stuff. And then last thing that I'll say on this video, we'll talk about it again during our face-to-face meeting, are our 4 pillars: gospel focus, spiritual prep, relationships, and excellence. We have to be about the gospel. We have to be preparing our hearts spiritually. We need to build relationships, and we need to do things as well as we can. If you have any questions, you can email me, you can text me, you can send me a message on social media. All that's appropriate. Please, you're not bothering me. Please don't hesitate to ask. I'm here to serve you. I'm here to help you. If I said anything today that was unclear, please, I would love to clarify it. So please let me know. I love you guys. I'm excited to have you on the team and cannot wait to see what God does. Love you guys. See ya.